Tonight, live at London's Battersea Power Station, the most exciting, entertaining and fiercely fought X Fighters series is about to be decided.
All the top guys are here.
Everybody can win.
So there's a championship at stake here.
It all comes down to tonight.
I'm not here for second, I'm here to win.
I want to win here so bad.
The world's best FMX riders are about to do battle for the ultimate prize. This is the series finale of Red Bull X Fighters 2009, exclusively on Dave. Welcome to Battersea Power Station for what promises to be a monumental night in FMX history. For the first time ever, X Fighters has landed in the UK, and it is going to be a spectacle of jaw-dropping proportions. Joining me as ever in this riot of freestyle motocross action is mountain bike's very own man of legend. He's a self-confessed FMX super freak. It's Rob Warner. Rob, you're a big man. Just how big is tonight going to be on the Warner scale?
Tonight is going to be absolutely massive. Not only is this the series finale, but there's several riders out there going for the World Series title. I'm not lying when I tell you that is going to be an absolute war zone out there tonight. No X-Fighters series in history has ever come down to the wire like this.
Well, on a special night like this, we've enlisted some extra help, and he's a man who spent the entire series behind the scenes. He's a friend to the riders, and he's down in the pits. Mr. Tim Warwood.
Thanks, Ed. Yes, throughout the course of tonight, I will be down here in the riders area to bring you all of the very best of the action from tonight's proceedings. As well as that, I'm going to try and ensnare some of the more glamorous glitterati attending tonight's grand finale.
Thank you very much, Tim. Well, the X Fighters has been through some colossal bull rings and some legendary rodeo parks this year. But, Rob, the backdrop of Battersea Power Station here, it's something else.
Absolutely, Ed. I mean, look at the size of that building. It diminishes absolutely everything beneath it. But these riders cannot be intimidated by that huge building. That is their stage. They've got to get out there and perform, especially, as we said, there's a World Series title at stake tonight.
Well, the quarterfinals are coming up in just under 15 minutes. But before we go there, we're going to bring you up to speed. If you haven't experienced this sport before, we've got a complimentary guide that will take you through everything you need to know about FMX. Plus, we've got a roundup of the X Fighters series so far. Freestyle motocross, or FMX for short, is an explosive mix of metal and mind-boggling acrobatics, as riders pull off incredible gymnastic stunts whilst on and sometimes off their bikes. X Fighters pits pairs of riders against each other in a knockout competition. They each get just 90 seconds to impress a panel of judges who then score them in 5 specific categories. The rider who wins 3 or more of the judging categories then goes through to the next round. This year's World Series kicked off in Mexico City, where 43,000 fired-up fans saw 17-year-old rookie Levi Sherwood cause a massive upset in his first ever X Fighters appearance, as he beat Japanese veteran Eigo Sato in the final. Sato continued his fine form as he made it back-to-back finals in the second event in Calgary. But once again he was beaten into second place, as this time Aussie wildman Robbie Madison put in the ride of his life to take the Canadian crown. The next stop on the World Series was in Texas, and it turned out to be a historic night. To kick things off, Thomas Pages attempted to land the first ever front flip in competition. Then Aussie Cam Sinclair became the only rider ever to land a double backflip in a competitive run. In the final, American rider Nate Adams lived up to his nickname, the Destroyer, as he beat Matt Rabot in an incredibly close contest. With the X Fighters competition reaching fever pitch, the tour made its way to the Spanish capital of Madrid. It was the home crowd that made the difference on the night, as Spain's own son Danny Torres raised his game to beat the in-form rider Nate Adams in the final. So, after 4 unbelievable events in 4 different countries around the world, the race for the 2009 X Fighters Series title could not be closer.
There's like a four-way tie right now for the lead, so it just comes down to tonight.
Final round, so just go big.
I want to win here so bad, that's for sure.
I didn't come here to get second, I come here to throw everything on the line and get the first place, and I'm going for the win.
And no matter what happens, it all gets settled tonight. Well, you've now done your homework, so we're going to go down into the pits with Tim, who appears to have found some of the bold and the very beautiful.
Now I'm told that the royal family of the United Arab Emirates are here, but I've sacked them off to talk to Nick Appleton.
So that's who they are over
Yes,
there.
exactly. And do you know what? The reason why I've chose you is because I want to know something, because I kind of feel this inside. I want to know if you do as well. When you see the guys doing the jumps and going upside down all this, do you think it triggers a kind of maternal instinct inside of you?
Maybe not so maternal, but it definitely sends off those smelly oils.
Really? Look at this place, Battersea Power Station. How happy are you to be here?
It's amazing. It's a fantastic setting for this. It's exciting. There's a lot of tattoos and lots of madness. It's amazing. It's really cool.
I wasn't going to say that, but basically, is the FMX type of male, a kind of fanciable male?
Oh, God, yeah. Oh, definitely, definitely. Rugged, ready.
There we go.
On the back of a bike.
I think we're going to be in for a very special night tonight, don't you?
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. They look great. They look fantastic. And
awesome.
And I'm with my son, and he's so excited. And it's
Is
great.
he? It's a kid's dream, isn't it?
Yeah.
Every kid from the age of like this big to this big has wanted to
His
jump
eyes
a
are like
motorbike.
circles. He's like that, and I'm like, I know, Gene. It's amazing. Yeah.
Well, thanks for talking to us.
Well, thanks for having me.
Back to you guys.
Thanks, Tim. Well, she's definitely into it. Now, before we get into the action, we're going to have a look at the World Series title. We've got a bottleneck at the top of these rankings. There are so many riders who could take this out tonight. In fourth place there, we've got that incredibly consistent Swiss lad, Matt Rabot.
Well, that's right. I mean, he's coming in here, Ed, as the defending series champion from last year. He's had a very poor season by his standards. Hasn't actually taken a win yet. His dad has been away from him all summer, but he is here tonight. His mechanic, his mentor, and historically, Rabot has never lost an X Fighters when his dad's been present.
He is a firm favourite. Also, we've got Robbie Madison there in third place.
Well, that's right. I mean, a household name over here now since he backflipped Tower Bridge the other day. Maddo's actually coming here with a nasty shoulder injury he sustained a few weeks back. But believe me, if anyone's going to put it on the line and dig deep, it's Robbie Madison.
I mean, injuries are part and parcel of this, and that shows second place. We've got Eigo Sato.
Yeah, Sato again. He went down here in practice. Not sure how bad his shoulder is, but he's had an incredible year. He came out in round one, guns blazing. At the age of 30, he'd learned a whole load of new tricks, one of which we might see tonight. There's rumours he's got a new upside-down combo.
Well, in first place, we've got a man who you make no secret of being your favourite rider, Nate the Destroyer Adams.
If you want to take the hardest tricks on the planet and you want to see them done perfectly, ask Nate Adams to do them for you. He is arguably the greatest freestyle motocross rider there is right now, and my money, well, I think he's going to be the man to beat tonight.
Well, those are the top four riders in the table, but don't forget, there are four other riders here who aren't going for the series title, but are desperate to take the silverware home as a souvenir from London. Join us after the break as we go into the first of the quarterfinals, exclusively here on Dave. Welcome back to the grand finale of the X Fighters 2009 World Series. We're perched on the banks of the River Thames with Battersea Power Station as our backdrop. And coming up in just about 5 minutes, we've got the first of the quarterfinals. And it is no understatement to say that this is a clash of the titans. Two of the riders up for the series title. Firstly, it's the 21st century equivalent of Evel Knievel, Mr. Robbie Madison. He's facing off against the precision Swiss FMX timepiece that is Matt Rabot. Now, before we get involved in that, Rob, you've been up close and personal with that course. What do you make of the UK's first foray into international FMX?
Well, a huge amount of work went into this trackhead, this state-of-the-art FMX course we got out of there. 9,000 tonnes of dirt were brought from the Olympic site in Stratford. The key points to me are definitely that huge 4-pack over the back there, where you're going to see the riders throw 2 massive tricks in sequence, back-to-back off those 2. And then if you come into the middle here, nestled in the middle there, we have got one of the super kickers. Now, if Parges is in the right, or depending how you look at it, wrong frame of mind, that's where you'll see him go for that awesome front flip. And then up against the grandstand here, we have got that huge 80-foot gap with a dirt takeoff. That will separate the men from the boys.
Well, I don't know if I dare call any of them boys. To me, they're all men, and they're about to get stuck into the quarterfinals. This is how they shape up. Well, that first lineup, Robbie Madison versus Matt Rabot, this is a clash of the titans.
It absolutely is. I mean, you know, it's going to be a bit of a nightmare first round for these guys. Big pressure on them. Maddo got that shoulder injury, but Rabot, he's going to be so hungry. He really wants to stamp his authority. His dad's here for the first time this season. He's going to go out there and show his dad what he can do.
Probably most significantly, they're both going to lose out on that World Series. We're going to lose one of those title race contenders.
Yeah.
Now, second quarter final. This is a very interesting one. Levi Sherwood up against Twitch Stenberg.
Well, that's right. I mean, Stenberg, he hasn't really shown us what he can do this. We had glimpses of it. He's been very lacklustre, and he's up against Sherwood, and he can't take any chance with him. Sherwood won round 1. We lost him mid-season with an injury. Pressure, I think, after the target on his back that was put there after Madrid has kind of crushed him a little bit. But I watched him in practice, and once he got to grip with these jumps, his extensions, he loves these smaller, dare I say it, jumps. And, you know, he's a real danger to Twitch tonight.
Well, the third of the quarterfinals, it's Ego Sato. He didn't have a fortuitous practice. He crashed quite hard up against the big man, Danny Torres. Danny on fantastic form after his win in Madrid.
Well, let's talk about Igo first. You know, he's got a shoulder injury, but he does ride with his heart on his sleeve, and he's like Maddo, he will dig very deep. There's a series at stake for him, but he is up against Torres. Torres is coming here on the back of a win. He was on incredible form in Madrid, and if he can carry that form here and that confidence, yes, he is the danger man.
Well, the last one, first place qualifier, Nate Adams is up against fellow American Mike Mason.
Well, Mike Mason, though, he's incredibly popular with all the other riders, but you've got to say he probably hasn't got the bag of tricks to go up against Nate Adams. Nate Adams, it should, in all honesty, be a walk in the park for him. He is the man, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, no surprises there. Rob is backing Nate Adams all the way. Before we go anywhere else, though, we're going down to the pits with Tim.
Yeah, here with Robbie. How you feeling, dude, in the bowels of Battersea Power Station?
Mate, it's probably fair to say I'm feeling electric. I feel great.
You're no stranger to London, of course. You've been here. How do you feel going out onto the course in front of the fans?
It's challenging for sure. You know, we had tough practices with the wind coming straight down the Thames here, but you know, it's been the same for all of us, and we had rain coming in throughout the weekend. Because of the rain, we have a really sandy composure dirt on the course, just so the water goes through it. So it all kind of changes the situation, but it's been all right. Confidence is building. I'm hoping to go out there and just put it all together.
You're nursing a bit of an injury, obviously the shoulder. How's that affecting you?
Well, the shoulder's really weak, so and also on that, when I go out and push it, it tightens up, you know, and it just starts to ache. But I got the shoulder injury. I also got a torn ligament through the groin, which makes all the Indian airs and get my legs around pretty hard. But fortunately enough, this sport's crazy enough that it just takes, once I get on the bike, my mind's totally not there, so I feel the pain after it.
Let's bring it to the first quarter-final. You're in it. You're up against Matt Rabot. You've beaten him before. How are you going to do it again?
I don't know, mate. This time it's really going to be a tough battle. But you know, I'm just going to go out there, throw my tricks the best I can, and you know, I got a couple of tricks that are a bit more risky than Matt. So hopefully the judges notice it and put me through.
There you go. Awesome, Robbie. Thank you very much, and all the best.
Cheers, Tim.
Thanks, Tim. Now, Robbie was talking about his injuries there. That man has drunk so many pints of concrete. He is possibly the hardest man on earth. None of that will bother him tonight. Now, we've seen an incredible array of tricks throughout the series this year, and in a bid to whet your appetites for what you're going to see tonight, Rob and I set ourselves the challenge of building the ultimate run. We decided to take each rider's best tricks and try and construct an uber run that would blow judges' minds and bring about world peace. Well, possibly. Right, you and I are going to pick 8 jumps for the ultimate 8-trick run. We're kicking off Danny Torres cliffhanger flip in Madrid. Most important thing is coming in, boom, and impressing the judges first off.
Hell of an opener, Ed.
Follow it.
Igo Sato, that Cordova flip he does now. He brought his body right round, full arch back. Stick one of them in there for definite.
I'll take your Cordova flip and I will raise you a Matt Rabot kiss of death flip. He's the only guy who can do those over a 125-foot kicker, sticking an Indian variation with his legs, crossing them up.
Yeah.
The judges love that.
Then we've got Maddo, a huge double grab heart attack.
And this isn't an amazing trick, but it's where he does it on the course that counts.
Dirt kicker to a dirt spine landing, insanity.
That is what makes Maddo so special.
Levi Sherwood, with that unbelievable tsunami whip. His legs came so far over his head, his feet were almost flat on his front mudguard. And then for technical brilliance, we've got to put in Nate Adams with that 360 Nat.
Why is it so risky? We only see Nate doing it.
Because he has to spin that bike through 360 degrees, drop it back down and land bang on straight on that lander, or he's going to get spat off.
Okay, the single most important thing for me is spontaneity. And when it comes to that, it belongs to the Pages brothers. Charlie Pages front flip.
Well, yeah, I would put it in there because it's such a big move, but he didn't actually land it, Ed, so it can't go in our ultimate run. So I'm going with his brother Thomas, who did land a double grab flip. He's the only guy to do it in a competition run. Even himself, he says how hard it is.
Okay, finish it off.
For me, only one way to end it. Cam Sinclair's double backflip. I mean, it's absolutely mental.
My only issue with it, he didn't shine on the end of that double backflip for me.
Well, I think he broke both his ankles, and that's why he just crumbled into a heap on the ground.
We'll agree to disagree on that one.
Yeah.
I want to finish with the Vegas ending from Twitch. No-handed backflip, no-hander landing, the ghost the bike, run up to the light, I am God.
I'll go with that.
That is the way to finish an FMX run.
Sounds good to me.
Ultimate run.
Well, that was Rob and my opinion. I'm sure if you followed the whole series, you've got your own. And I'd love to leave you to discuss that at your leisure, but there is the small matter of the first quarter-final. Now, I cannot underestimate just how big this is. Everything is on the line for both riders because they're both in for the series title of 2009. The first rider, the wonder from down under, he is Mr. Robbie Madison. He is desperate to win this. He's up against that Swiss timepiece. He is precision and he is consistency. Matt Rabot taking us through all of the proceedings. He's a pioneer of competitive FMX. It's Mr. Cameron Steele.
Looks like time to get to business here, ladies and gentlemen. Maddo, all the way from Australia. He's going to come out and take a warm-up shot at this jump, as will Matt Rabot. This is their warm-up. These riders haven't ridden since this afternoon. Here is the giant step-in. All of the riders saying this is one of the trickiest parts of the course. So two riders coming out to the throngs of fans here. It's amazing how many people have turned out. And of course, Ed and Rob high above here with me. My name's Cameron Steele, and I've been calling freestyle motocross competitions since 1998. And this is one of the nicest courses I have seen in that amount of time. Taking a look at Maddo riding a Yamaha, 28 years old, lives in Corona, California, but of course, as we know, he's from Australia, mate. One of the boys from the Metal Militia, and of course, a world record long distance holder. If you haven't been living underneath a rock, you'll know that he has jumped some gargantuan distances, actually going over a football field in Las Vegas just 2 New Year's Eves ago. Now both riders are out on the course, and time will get ready to start here. Time is on, 90 seconds as Maddo takes to the course. Starting off with a center jump. This is a 75-foot jump. Oh, this is gonna hurt him with the judges. Possibly in the wrong gear. Now, if I sound a little bit critical to these riders, it's because perfection is what's expected. Hitting all your jumps and not missing a trick every single jump is what the riders and judges are used to. So having Robbie having to turn around and re-racket the jump could be a problem. Oh! The kiss of death backflip. That's a trick that was invented right side up. Robbie takes it upside down.
You can see the clock, the lower right-hand side of your screen, inside of 1 minute, 90 seconds, all the quarterfinal runs. The final will become 2 minutes, and coming across, transfer. One of the judges, of course, is looking for use, of course, and Matto doing a good job mixing it up a little bit. Oh, and a corked out flip. Kind of a whip flip, kind of an underflip. Oh, big transfer. So we'll have to watch and see if Matt Ribot decides to use some of these transfers or elects to go with just tricks. Now, what I was saying earlier is Matto is kind of a big throw it down kind of rider. He wants to extend the tricks and hang them out for a long time. You see him hold there, the kiss of death right side up. Well, when you look at Matt Ribot, he's going to be doing a lot of tricks, maybe a little faster, but he's going to pack a lot more into each particular jump. And yes, the Indian air, throwing his legs sideways, the crowd loving it. And a great run for Matto to get started. Just the re-rack a problem. Ed and Rob, a little bit of a miscue there for Matto, but not bad.
Cam said it there, Rob. Fantastic in the trick department, but it could have been something as small as a gear change that has cost him.
I think what happened is, you know, you imagine having your mechanic just before you go out in that arena messing around with your throttle. I mean, your life depends on that, and I think it might just have,
upsetting. Well, we've got the slow-mos here, Rob. Talk us through them.
There he goes with that first lazy boy flip, I think it was, Ed. And there you go for that cliffhanger, fully extended. That was absolutely awesome.
Well, looking at all of these replays, it's so upsetting because his run was fantastic. There was nothing to fault it.
No, once he got into it, it was great, but it looked to me like his concentration had been broken by that little bit of a mechanical problem. And there, the kiss of death flip from Matto. Look how long he holds it. Didn't look through there, you know, later in the rounds, you're going to see those guys looking right through their hands at where they're landing. But not a pretty solid run from Matto, but I don't know if it's going to be enough to take down Matt Ribot. And there it is, the big Indian air flip to finish as well. So once he got into it, it was a solid run, but I think that mistake at this level, there's no room for those.
Well, the second competitor is ready for these quarterfinals. Matto is going to watch this with his fingers crossed. I don't think he's going to have any luck. It's Matt Ribot. Cameron, take it away.
Well, thank you, Ed. Rob, I think you really nailed that. One thing you pointed out there, he did not look through his arms on the kiss of death backflip. Remember, this is our champion from last year. He has not won an event in 2009. Look for him to poke his head through and look through on the kiss of death backflip. Getting started with the transfer. We talked about use, of course. He does a good job. A short jump from the side there. 90 seconds once he goes off the first jump, and yes, I love it. Extension. Lots of big extension on these tricks. I like the way he's getting started with it. You saw Matto. He was throwing big tricks with extension. Watch for Matt Ribot. Oh, yes! Arcing the underflip. Now you might say, what's an underflip? What's a backflip? The underflip is an off axis when they lead with their shoulder. And they're a combination trick while upside down, can-can and one-handed. Flipping all the flip bars. You can see them up above the handlebars, so use this for leverage. Look for the kiss of death flip, and yes! Looking through the bars. Nerves back in the pits. You saw just a little bit of a hiccup there coming out of that corner and then a little short on that jump. And you see right there, he may have been looking for another backflip trick, but elects to go right side up because of coming short on that jump. So coming short, definitely an issue. Flying with no hands and then grabbing on with another variation. One thing I really like about what I'm seeing from Matt Ribot is he's cleaning up and sticking his tricks. The pass, he's done a ton. Oh, and coming up extremely short. And coming up short is something you never want to do.
He went into that jump sideways.
And we'll wait for medical to come out and attend to Matt. And of course, this is something you know you look at with freestyle motocross. If you haven't seen it before, there's no nets to do the tricks. There's no sliding down on your knee pads when you eject or crash on a 240-pound motorcycle, especially when you invert it. The consequences are critical, and these guys are professionals. They train hard for this, and we'll wait and see what the medical crew has to say. But he had a great run going. Taking a look back, big no-footed can-can backflip. In the past, he had been throwing a pendulum more often in that position. And here we go, leading with the shoulder, going around. That's what you call the underflip, which is great execution on his point. Very solid. Coming into the dirt jump, there's one big dirt jump, and look at that. No-handed, one-footed can-can. Tons of degree of difficulty. You see the motorcycle drifting a little bit to the side on him, but he controls it well. And here it is, the look-through of full commitment on the Kiss of Death backflip. Rob pointed out Matto did not do that when he did the Kiss of Death backflip, but still, a solid run for Matt Ribot. And right now the judges scoring, we're coming out. Execution 2 to Matto. You need 3 of 5 style. I think because of the crash, probably. Oh, Matt Ribot, the show going to him. But right now it's a lock. Robbie Madison will move through. Our hopes and of course our prayers are just thinking about Matt, who we're hoping the best thing for. So right now, the scores again coming in. He will move on, Robbie Madison, with 4 of 5 scores. Okay, let's head back to Ed and Rob, who are high above the Battersea Station here.
Well, we can assure you that Matt's getting the best medical care, and as soon as we have any news on his condition, we'll pass that on to you. Very uncharacteristic fall from Matt.
Yeah, I was just thinking when I was watching him, this is vintage Ribot, you know, he looks so smooth and polished, and then bang, he's down, you know, and I hate seeing these guys get hurt, Ed. It's terrible, but that's part of the job for them. But, you know, both of those guys looking like they're under a lot of pressure there, and, you know, both of them nearly, Matto making a huge mistake there, coming out of the thing, and then Robbie Ribot really going down hard. Let's hope he's okay.
Well, we've got the next quarterfinal coming up. It's the young rookie from Mexico. He shone at the start of the series. It's Levi Sherwood. He has the unenviable task of taking on the man with the biggest reputation in freestyle motocross, Jeremy Twitch Stenberg. All of that is coming up after the break, exclusively on Dave. Welcome back to Battersea Power Station here in London for the finale of the X Fighters 2009. Matt Ribot went down in the first of the quarterfinals tonight. He is up and walking, so he's very happy about that. Obviously much more disappointed that he's out of the running for the series title for 2009. Now, the next quarterfinal will see Levi Sherwood. This lad took out the title in Mexico at his first ever X Fighters event. He's up against the tattooed maniac from California. It's Twitch Stenberg. Taking us through all of the action, it's Cameron Steele.
Yeah, boys, well, good news. Seeing Matt Ribot walk off under his own power, grabbing his nose, it looked like. Coming up short on that jump, something you never want to do. This is a very interesting matchup. 17 years old, Levi Sherwood. And he won our Mexico City event. Now this is why it's interesting. He's riding up against Jeremy Stenberg, also known as Twitch. Jeremy rode at the first ever X Games in 1999 at 16 years of age. He was one of the giant killers. Now Jeremy Stenberg, one of the veterans and one of the heroes of the sport, now up against the young up-and-comer. Now, I will point this out. Levi Sherwood is the only rider riding a 254 stroke. It's got a little bit less grunt than the 252 strokes. He's having problem in one of the corners. Time will start as soon as he gets airborne, and here it is, Sherwood, and he elects to go to the right. When he goes to the other direction to that ram jump is where he's having problems on the run-in. Oh, great extension, Sherwood with the big tsunami getting all the way up and over. His foot looked like it almost touched his back. The kiss of death backflip, and now this is the run-in that he's been having problems with. If he doesn't nail it exactly right, he hasn't been able to get his track perfect, but he got the track and the trick going with what's called an executioner, electing to do right side up tricks. Now remember, this is a combination of tricks. Right side up with combinations upside down. Lots of different things you can do, but if you go all backflips, the judges will get tired of it. So you have to impress the judges. So you need to go right side up as well, and Sherwood right now doing a great job. He has a trick that looks like his signature. Here it is. Whipped out, poking the leg straight up and actually arcing him over like a scorpion. So a great job so far in this run. 30 seconds remaining. Nice, the Shaolin backflip invented by Ronnie Feist. Puts his legs through the handlebars. Full commitment from Sherwood. Clean through this section. Now I'm not sure if he's electing not to do flip tricks in that section just because of that tight run-in. He's got time for another jump. Here we go. Seat grab, Indian flip, and he claims it, both hands in the air. He seems excited about it. Rob and Ed, that looks like a very good run. It's going to be tough for Twitch tonight.
Well, that was an absolutely immaculate run from Levi Sherwood. We haven't seen him on that kind of form since Mexico.
No, Ed, I mean, he's known for those extensions, and didn't he throw out some massive extensions out there? Got the transfers in, a little light on the flips perhaps, but there's more to come from Sherwood tonight. That was an amazing run, and yes.
Well, let's have a look at these slow-mos.
Well, there you go. Look at that. His head is almost touching the front wheel, and that is
the
like
biggest. His shoulders should dislocate when he does that.
He's clearly got no backbone. And just look at that. A massive KOD.
Well,
good run.
We know that Twitch will have been watching that very, very carefully. Cameron, how do you think he's going to cope with that?
And he has taken the course, starting it off with the transfer. Heel click flip. Now they call him Twitch because he has Tourette syndrome. You see a bit of a twitch of the head. Nice, getting some good extension here. This is that double-double section we were saying Levi wasn't flipping in, and a good flip, and then another flip combo. Now we've got to see good right side up tricks is something we really need to see from Twitch. Oh, big extension. So I'm liking what I'm seeing from Twitch right now. He's on his game. One of the riders from the Metal Militia holding it down for the boys there, getting off the side of the motorcycle. The fans having a good time. Let's see what he's got as you see him loading the bike, a wheelie. Nice extension. The cliffhanger to no-handed lander. Some of us call it the stage dive. Dustin Miller doing that first, and nice. A whipped out backflip, and then the transfer. So the peace of mind, not just to do the flip and then get into another jump, he does a complete transfer. So remember, there's a judge out there looking for use of course, and I think, oh, wow, the bar was set high by Levi Sherwood, but right now I'm thinking Twitch may have the edge. This is gonna be a very tough call. Oh, that was heartbreaking for Twitch right there. For Stenberg, he did not get a trick right there. Very difficult to beat a run like Levi Sherwood had, missing a trick. And remember, I said, we may sound like we're a little critical on these guys, but you have to be, because they have to be virtually perfect. Levi Sherwood hit a jump and a trick every single time. Twitch getting a flip, but not getting what he wanted. Difficult for Jeremy Stenberg. His wife Susan looking on, a little wave there. So a great run by Twitch. We'll see if it's enough to take Sherwood down. Rob and Ed, what do you guys think? Is that enough?
Well, to me, that was perfect composure from Twitch. He read exactly what Sherwood had done, and it was like he built his run, technically, just to take that to pieces.
It was an absolutely awesome run. There it is. I mean, look at that, Ed. A huge Indian air backflip there, and then straight into another backflip on that, on those two jumps in a row there. So back-to-back flips from Twitch. He looked to me like he was having a real lot of fun out there, and what a shame that he missed that track. A huge holy grab there. His arms go out like he's on a crucifix up there in the air, and he grabs back on. It was an awesome run from Twitch. The running man completely lets go of the bike, comes back on. It was an awesome run, Ed.
Well, we've got the judges' decision coming back in. Talk us through this, Cam.
Well, it looks like the judges preferred Levi Sherwood. 3 judges so far. He's already through. All he needs is 3 of 5. A bit of a shocker there.
Well, I don't think I could have called that one more wrong. I mean, I'm a big fan of Twitch's riding. Maybe I'm a bit biased, but Levi Sherwood absolutely cleaning up there.
Well, he did. I mean, I think Twitch would have had him, actually. I think he put a better run. But at this level, you know, he didn't extend the flip trick. In fact, he didn't even start to. And that is definitely what cost him. But Sherwood, with those extensions, he's a real danger here tonight, Ed. That was one hell of an opening run.
Well, we've got 2 of our semi-finalists confirmed in Robbie Madison and Levi Sherwood. We're into the third quarter-final now, and we're going to see Eigo Sato, one of those series title contenders for 2009, up against the master from Madrid, Danny Torres. This is going to be a big one. Cameras, talk us through it.
And Sato, because he didn't qualify in the early qualifying, he will go first in this run. The better of the qualifiers go second. Look for big upside-down tricks. Look for the Cordova and Lazy Boy backflips from Sato. Nice Cordova flip. Sato bringing it. Good extension. The fans cheering him on. Believe me, the riders can hear the craze of the fans, and they go right behind him. The more they pump him up, the more the riders seem to take it to another level. Sato in that double-double section. I think the score's high with the judges. Nice right-side-up combinations. It's basically somewhere akin to diving or synchronized swimming where you have scores and judges scoring it, but the degree of difficulty and risk is obviously much higher. 240-pound motorcycle, inverting him. There you saw a great inverted trick from Sato. Yes, corking it out, big no-footed can. Backflip whip. 30 seconds remain in his 90-second run. If you guys are just tuning in, Freestyle Motocross has invaded the shores of London here at the Battersea Power Station. Eigo Sato on the course from Japan, 30 years old. Nice! The cliffhanger flip a little bit short. Oh, and it makes it so he can't get the trick he's looking for on that second jump. That will hurt him in the judge's eyes, but a great run so far for Sato. One little mistake, and yes! The cliffhanger to no-handed lander, red flag waving. That lets him know that his 90 seconds is up. Look at this huge crowd. They're digging it. I'm digging it. Eigo Sato's digging it. And I think a great run for Eigo. Just a small mistake along the way.
Well, Eigo Sato, they're proving that he's one of the best light riders, not only by the other riders, but also by the crowd here. Loudest cheer as he came out of that run.
Well, absolutely, because he goes out there and lays it on the line. Look at that huge extension on that opener for him. Sato always loose, always lays it out there. But his tricks are so good. A massive Indian air from him on that right side up trick there, Ed. And here we go with that. He has made that his own. That's the Cordova flip. Look at the way he looks forward before the landing. That is Eigo Sato at his best right there. It's almost become his signature trick now. And there he goes. A big double seat grab. Looking at the crowd, looking at the judges, hoping to get some more points. Lands a little long, but most of the guys are on that jump.
But that's exactly the kind of excuse that the judges are going to be looking for when they're trying to make a decision if Torres throws down a perfect run.
If it comes down to being that tight, yeah, and there's a good chance of Torres throwing in a good run on the form he's on now.
Now that looked like he might have made a mistake on that last one there.
I think he was going for, I don't know what, maybe a no-handed flip, but he certainly didn't pull it. So he'll get marked heavily for that. And here he is, Sato, at his loose best, going for the no-handed landing. Lands heavy.
Oh, and he only just held on to that.
Just manages to keep his hands off. There he is having a good laugh. Typical Eigo Sato. Fantastic. Always a thrill to watch him.
Well, back down to you, Cam, as we get ready for Danny Torres.
Right on, Spain's #1 son when it comes to freestyle motocross, Danny Torres, a multiple-time winner on the X-Fighters Tour. Ladies and gentlemen at home, watch for perfection. Danny Torres has a style that is a thing of beauty, and he also has the biggest tricks in the sport. He's won twice on the series, one time this year in 2009. He brings the ability to win. Nice heel clicker, backflip to start. His problem is, sometimes if it starts to not go perfect, he gets off his game. But so far this weekend, Danny Torres has been spot on, qualifying in the #2 position and qualifying a great no-handed lander. We saw lots of great tricks from Eigo Sato. I think the trick that he missed that he wanted was the Lazy Boy backflip. We'll see if Danny has any misses, but a great Shaolin flip. It was just a few years ago, as you see his dad watching on. Lots of nerves in this sport. There is the Lazy Boy flip over the 80-foot dirt jump. Degree of difficulty definitely harder there. The ramps are something that are constant. They don't get ruts. Nice whip, big trick. The ramps don't get ruts, but the dirt jumps can develop a huge rut. Look at the fans, and Danny doing a good job. Oh, the anti-whip. The reverse-sided whip, or also known as the Twitch whip, as Twitch is one of the riders that brought it to prominence. Twitch, as we know, going out of the competition already in the quarterfinals, and right now Danny Torres trying to do work to eliminate Ego Sato, not only from this round, but if Ego loses here, he loses his champ at the X Fighters Chance Championship. Nice execution for Danny Torres. 10 seconds remaining. He's going to have time for one more jump, it looks like. Let's see what he brings on his last jump. Nice Cordova flip. I'm going to say his Cordova flip not as nice as Sato's, but we didn't see him miss any tricks. Great variations, good use of course. You'll notice not a lot of transfers though. Ed, solid run from Danny. I think it's going to be enough to put him through.
Well, I'm going to take Cam's advice on that one. I've given up speculating, Rob. A fantastic run from Torres, following on exactly where he left off in Madrid.
Well, that's right. I mean, the guy is on fire at the moment. He went out there and he went big. And, you know, with Sato missing a trick, you would say, I agree with Cam on that. So look at that, though. Look at that heel clicker flip. He got his legs and these feet actually touched.
And that's what the judges are looking for on that trick.
Yeah, that was perfection. A huge cliffhanger to a no-hander landing as well.
And that has comped Sato. Sato had a cliffhanger, but he's just added a little bit more.
Although the extension wasn't anything like Sato's Cordova. And he's coming up to hit the ramp again. Oh, and it's it looks like a big bar hop. Whip, Metz as well. Yeah, he comes in there, so that was a big right side up combo. There it is again.
True. That's an example, if you need it, that even we get mixed up with the trick names.
I'm not surprised when they throw that many combinations in, Ed. And there's a big let go right side up trip. Not that many flips, but to a no-hander landing. So yeah, Torres looking really good. Here's a flip from him. He puts his feet up, and there it is. There's that Cordova, and he does look through it as well. So, yeah, you got to say, I think he's probably got the measure of Ego Sato with that run.
I think he strategized that run so that he could comp Igo on all of his tricks, and he did that successfully. Right, back down to you, Cam, for the judges' decision.
All right, so we're waiting to find out what the 5 judges decided. Ego Sato with a very solid run, the huge Cordova flip. One backflip without the combination, and that was in the second jump of a jump into another jump segment. Having a little bit of problem on the first one, not able to get the tricky one on the second one. Tricking track to Danny Torres. Let's see what the execution judge goes to Sato. You need 3 of 5 to advance. Style going to Danny Torres, one of the most stylish riders on the series. And Show will go to Torres. He will advance on. Ego Sato will be eliminated from his chance at the overall X Fighters Championship. Qualified for the next round, Danny Torres moves on to the semifinals. Ed, Rob, I think that's a great choice by the judges, and I think he's a rider that's on par for a win tonight.
Well, no surprises there, Rob, but that was a fantastic ride from Torres.
It was faultless. He went big, he put in some great right side up tricks, some great flip tricks, extensions were amazing. You know, he has got a huge amount of confidence behind him, coming here on the back of a win. We saw Torres as well sneak that last round win last year. He seems to come good at the end of these seasons, Ed.
Well, we've lost yet another of those 2009 series contenders in Ego Sato. It's just Robbie Madison and Nate Adams left. Coming up after the break, we've got quarterfinal number 4, the last spot in the semis. We've got Mike Mason from America up against the destroyer, Nate Adams. Plus, I'll be taking one for the team in a bid to illustrate just how hard this sport actually is.
He's going for it. Whoa. No, he shut off on the top of the jump. That was the worst thing he could have done.
Welcome back to Battersea Power Station on the banks of the River Thames. We're in the midst of the quarterfinals here at the X Fighters 2009. We've got Mike Mason. He is the American with the style and finesse to take this down, but he's got the unenviable task of taking on Nate the Destroyer Adams. He is immaculate. Now, those guys are out on the course. Rob, you looking forward to this one?
I certainly am. You know, we're going to see Nate Adams in action. Mike Mason has got a huge tall order in front of him to take him down. I really don't think he's got enough tricks in his bag, but he's looking good through practice, you know, but all the pressure is on him to take down Nate Adams.
Well, Cam, take it away.
I think you're exactly right, Rob, that this is going to be a huge, tall order for him. I mean, stepping it up a notch in his game is what he's going to have to do. Mike Mason, one of the smoothest and most polished riders in freestyle motocross. Watch for the huge right side up. Holy man, the let-go trick over the biggest jump, completely committed. Right now, great execution getting started from Mason. And we'll see if we get that big let-go trick over the dirt or we get a flip here possibly. Yes, big no-handed backflip. You're talking about going up against Nate Adams. They call him the Destroyer because literally he's been breaking people's hearts for a long time. He's able to win any possible event he gets into, and a little bit of an underflip attempt there from Mason, but really more of an off-axis backflip. But, oh, we talked about it. The big extension and big commitment, completely letting go of the motorcycle. The fans love that. Now the flip bars. Let's see what we get upside down. The Kiss of Death Indian Air. Nate Adams watching on. Nate from Glendale, Arizona, living in Temecula now. And Mason, woo, big extension on the cliffhanger, but doesn't land no-handed. No extra variation there. I think right now the problem for Mason is his run is solid, but it's lacking a little bit of flair. I mean, huge tricks, don't get me wrong, but when you're going up against Nate Adams, who will probably be the only rider we see here tonight throwing a 360, it's going to be a huge problem for Mason. A great run, a solid run, a beautiful run, but I'm going to say it's not going to be enough unless we see a mistake from Nate. What do you guys think, Ed?
Well, I'm pretty positive that Rob is going to agree with you here. Rob, a fantastic run for Mike Mason, but as Cam said, it's never going to be enough in the face of Nate Adams.
No, he threw down some huge tricks, Ed, but, you know, you've got to look at how technically hard the tricks are that Nate does. But look at that, a huge seat grab, a huge heart attack backflip from Mason. You know, there's nothing wrong with the way he's doing things. We're pretty much comparing him to what we're hopefully going to see in a minute, and a massive heel clicker flip too.
I think the most important point to make here is that we're looking at first place qualifier Nate Adams versus Mike Mason, who qualified in 8th. So it is, in terms of seeding, a mismatch.
Well, absolutely, and he's gone out there and done himself a huge credit, because that was one hell of a run, and it would probably stand up against most other riders, but he is going against the man we're about to see, Nate, the Destroyer Adams.
Okay, Cam, I know you're going to enjoy this one.
Nice, starting it out with a huge backflip no-hander. And then the stripper backflip, getting 1 foot hooked on the bar, 1 foot going through. Watch for the 360, the off-axis rotation. That's going to be one of the bigger tricks. You see him there using a smaller jump, but it's a transfer. One of the judges looking for use, of course. So Nate now going into the double-double section, starting it off with the lazy boy backflip and going right into cliffhanger backflip, but not getting all the extensions, so not quite perfection from Nate, but I'm here to tell you, if he's not quite exactly perfect, oh yes, the 360 going no-footed as well, so Nate throwing a combination into the 360. As you take a look from the follow cam, look at the towers there on the Battersea Power Station. Nate having a great run here, but it's not the runner perfection that I've seen in the past from Nate. I believe it will probably be enough to move him past Mike Mason as long as he gets a full run in here, but he's really gonna have to get it shiny it up a little bit more when it comes to a bit later. Nice transfer for Nate. You see him moving the motorcycle around. So you can say not doing a trick there, but because of the transfer, the judges appreciating that. And there's the right side up cliffhanger to no-handed lander. Lots of risk, 5 seconds remain. He's got time to go into one more jump. Let's see what he brings us on his final jump. And a nice off-axis flip to knack-knack. The crowd digging it. I'm digging it. It wasn't his best work, but I think it'll be enough, Ed.
Well, the kitchen is hotting up. Has Nate Adams done enough? I don't think that was vintage Nate Adams. It was good.
I then there, a pretty textbook lazy boy flip from Nate
That
Adams.
is one of his hallmarks, though, isn't it?
That's a hard trick. His helmet almost on the rear mudguard there. And this is the trick I think he didn't extend. No, he went for the big cliffhanger flip, but he didn't get his back straight. He should be hanging down vertically below that just after
He could get punished for that. I mean, we're looking at a very technically advanced run that he's gone for here, but Mike Mason was perfect, if a little bit easier.
Yeah, but then he comes back with what we just saw there, the big 360 no foot. I mean, you know, there's a big difference in these tricks.
Yeah, another variation on that enormously difficult trick.
Exactly.
Right, Cam, back down to you for the results.
Mason and Adams. Adams with the trick and track. I have a feeling this is going to be not all of them going, yes, there's execution to Mason. This one's going to be a tight one. These guys are great friends, by the way. Style to Mason. Wait a minute, do we have an upset in the making? Show to Adams, one judge remains to make the decision. Overall to Nate Adams. Oh, just escaping there. Nate with a great run, but as we said, it was not vintage and perfect Nate Adams. He's going to have to bring his game up just a notch as he's going to go head-to-head with Matto in the semifinals. Ed and Rob, that was very tight.
My heart was a flutter then. Mike Mason pushed him right to the wire.
Well, Mason, yeah, we haven't seen him at X-Fighters this year, but he certainly left his mark here tonight. Nate Adams, you know, that's a big warning to him. He's going to have to come out and really lay down those huge tricks perfectly. Otherwise, someone's going to take him down. But Mason really lifted his game there. You know, it was an awesome run from Mason. Nate didn't extend a trick. It's going to be so tight tonight, Ed. It's frightening.
Well, we knew it was going to be an amazing night, but already the hearts are thumping. We're getting ready for the semi-finals and we have confirmation of those matchups. In the first one, we've got the rookie from Mexico, Levi Sherwood, up against the man in form from Madrid, it's Danny Torres. Then we've got the big guns. This will see the last, this semi-final will settle the X-Fighters Series 2009, Rob.
Absolutely, whoever wins that semi is going to be the series champion. So, I mean, they're both backstage now, sweating like an MP with a second home. The pressure on those guys is incredible at the semi-final stage. Yeah, it's going to be huge.
Now, we have seen a fantastic array of riding throughout the series here, and it's really difficult when riders are performing at this level to illustrate just how difficult this sport is. So, in the interests of helping you guys, I agreed to let this man teach me to get a motocross bike off the ground. And I'm not too sure what made me more nervous, the fact I was going to try and jump a motorbike or the fact that Rob was my teacher.
With my teacher, Rob, literally leaving me for dust, the first thing to do was get warmed up. Now, I've ridden road bikes before, but this was something completely different. And whilst Rob's teaching method basically involved him showing off, I took the opportunity to get a feel for the course, face first. So with the taste of dirt still fresh in my mouth, it was time for Rob to lay down a daunting challenge.
I found you this, Ed. It's a 30-foot tabletop. It's a little bit smaller than the ones we see at X-Fighters. Those guys are jumping 120 feet and backflip, and we saw that in Texas this year. But do not underestimate this. If you get it wrong, you will get hurt.
Okay. Is there a slightly more positive incentive scheme you can give me?
Yeah. I've put some marks up here, Ed. If you get to here, you're pathetic. I honestly think my mum could jump that far. If you get to here, you've done pretty good. You're halfway there. And if you actually make it over the thing, I'll see you at Battersea. You'll be riding.
With that gauntlet laid down, I got back on the bike and prepared to take on the 30-foot tabletop.
He's going for it. Oh. No, he shut off on the top of the jump. That was the worst thing he could have done. Faster there, go on. Power!
Oh, he keeps saying to me, I can hear him each time I come past, he's like, faster, faster.
Faster!
Got to get my head together for this one. It's going to be a bit harder than I thought.
Nearly. Yeah, that was better.
I reckon now's as good a chance as any.
Yes! Yes, perfect!
That was amazing. I got it.
You've done it. You've cleared that 35-foot tabletop. Really amazing. We've only been here a day. That was awesome. Can you imagine what it feels like for those guys? They're 40 feet up and they're going 120 feet in length with no safety net. They have to make it to the landing. They're incredibly skilled.
I've got a new perspective, massive new respect for the riders after doing this. Totally addicted. I'm going again.
Next stop, Battersea, A&E.
I was actually saddle sore for 3 days after that.
You are such a lightweight.
The amazing thing is how pathetic it actually looks. I was genuinely terrified about that, and that you watch it back, that's the first time I've seen it, and it looks absolutely worthless.
Don't worry, Ed, everything looks bigger on television.
I don't believe you. Now, the quarterfinals have cut 8 riders down to 4, and we have got some incredible semi-finals matchups coming up. The first one is the rookie of the X-Fighters 2009 series, Levi Sherwood. He is up against the informed rider of the moment, the Spaniard, Danny Torres.
Well, yeah, this is one big matchup, you know. Both these two diminutive riders are going to go large out there, I guarantee it. Sherwood with those crazy extensions. And here he is on screen. There was one of them already. Sherwood, you know, really working that 254 stroke he likes out here. He won't hold him back on a course like this. But look how long he left out before he gets back on the bike. Seconds, milliseconds before he lands the thing.
You can't underestimate how much confidence it builds in them winning, can you?
No, I mean, already by this semi-final stage, Sherwood will be starting to get on a roll. He's really lacked. And here's Torres on screen now. We're going to see a slow-mo of him.
We know that Torres has got what it takes to take this down, but Sherwood is something of an unknown quantity. Those extensions are getting marked so highly by the judges.
I know, and you're talking about extensions. Did you see that huge, I think it was a Shaolin there by Torres, and look at this for a right-side-up combination, finishing off with a McMets from him. So Torres busted out some new tricks out there. It's going to be really tight at this one, I promise you.
Well, if you've just joined us here at Battersea Power Station for the finale of the 2009 X-Fighters, you've only missed the most dramatic quarterfinals we have ever seen. Joining me, Rob Warner, as ever. Now, we've got the first semi-final coming up. This promises to be a huge one. It's the rookie, Levi Sherwood, the wonder from down under, up against the Spanish fly. It's Danny Torres. He's won in Madrid and he's here on flying form. Cam, take it away.
This is going to be a tough one, I'll tell you guys. I love the matchup because of the unique styles that they bring to it. Levi Sherwood, you're seeing right now, he pushes it beyond the possibilities sometimes, just with the extensions going so big. Look at it wrapping around. You've got to be kidding me when you look at Levi Sherwood coming from New Zealand, busting onto the freestyle motocross scene at 17 years of age, winning an X-Fighters event. There, the Shaolin bar hop coming through. So Sherwood looking on, and Danny Torres watching. So Sherwood on the motorcycle, Danny Torres watching on to clarify. A nice extension by Levi. Less than a minute remaining in his run. 90-second runs again here in the semis. 2 different matchups. The second semi will be Maddo and Nate Adams. And yes, big tricks from Levi Sherwood right now. You've got to love what he's bringing to the plate. Imagine at 17 years of age, those of you at home, imagine getting up in front of your class just to give a speech, just to talk about something in front of 30 people. He's riding in front of the world right now, going for it, and yes, huge extension by Levi Sherwood. I love what he's bringing to freestyle motocross. Youth, attitude, extension. He is the future of our sport, and right now, big extension. I like the twist there. The judges will notice that. Something a little bit different in the Executioner, twisting his body, reaching back to the opposite side, kind of like a lean air on a skateboard, and then inverting it with a great trick to cap it off. Will it be enough is the question, as Torres will take to the stage next. Let's go back up to Ed Robb for just a moment.
Well, Levi Sherwood there, Cameron touched on that for a second. He said that Sherwood is growing in confidence with every run. He came in here, it's always been his experience in question, and yet he's growing as this crowd get behind him.
Well, that's right, and here it is. I mean, look at the extension on that. His foot was damn near on that front mudguard. He is so bendy, it's frightening. And then that massive Shaolin, even his bum comes in front of the handlebars. It's insane. You don't see tricks done like this by anyone. No one else can do them like Levi Sherwood does them here. And there's that huge executioner, nearly manages to touch his foot as well. So, just the mind boggles at the flexibility of this young man. A cliffhanger.
We always talk about the fact that the judges are looking for excuses to mark them down. Levi Sherwood has given them nothing with that run.
No, he certainly hasn't. It was perfection. Another huge trick there, the stripper flip. I mean, it was textbook from me. And, after round one, he had a little bit of a target on his back because he was unknown to that point. And I think the pressure of everyone trying to beat him got to him. But he's just starting to get over that now. And tonight, he really has come back to form.
Well, Cam, we've got the second rider down there. It's Danny Torres ready to go.
Danny is definitely ready to go. Coming all the way from Spain, he didn't come to lose. He loves to win. And once he got a taste of it over the last couple years, he's been a rider who's been fighting out for that top spot in so many events. He's become a force to be reckoned with when before he needed a little bit of a lucky star to be shining over him. And speaking over him, his father watching on, and Torres taking to that ramp-to-ramp section. Nice extension, a little bit tentative there on the cliffhanger flip. And then I like the combination. Cliffhanger flip upside down, and then the cliffhanger to no-handed landed right side up. I think that's very cool of him to work in the trick upside down and right side up in the same set of jumps, and nice extension over the handlebars. Now Sherwood didn't give the judges anything really to knock him for, so what we need to see, yes, Danny Torres is doing what we need to see. Nice lazy boy backflip, but Sherwood seemed to have a little bit more amplitude. Nice wraparound, going for the Saran off, or coming through with his hand coming off the handlebars. So nice combinations from Torres, and yes, oh, the beautiful whip. So far, the best whip we've seen tonight, as far as I'm concerned. Torres bringing the heat, and soon we'll be seeing Matto and Nate Adams in semi-2. They will meet the winner of this heat. On course right now, Torres a little bit of a slip-up going into that section, it looked like, but he's making it work and getting good combinations of right-side-up tricks. 15 seconds remains for Danny Torres. You see the focus in his eyes. Going for the Cordova flip, a very similar run we saw to his quarterfinal run, but working to perfect it. Going through this section, getting good. Oh, great extension to end it up. So right now, this is a very tough one to call, but if I had to look into my crystal ball, I think Levi Sherwood might have got this one, but this is going to be incredibly close. Ed, Rob, this is going to be a tough one if you're a judge.
Well, Danny Torres' run, what do you make of that one?
Well, he didn't do a lot wrong, but has he got enough there to beat Levi Sherwood? There's that cliffhanger flip. That was the thorn in his side for so long, and finally he's starting to get those to perfection. And there he is doing it right side up to a no-hander landing. I'm glad I'm not a judge tonight, Ed. This is too tight to call. The Shaolin flip, and again, the extension, just like Sherwood's, was incredible.
It's fantastic watching these replays this slow. You can actually see the feet searching for the pegs as they come in.
And look at that, the lazy boy flip. I think it's anything but lazy, though, to be that high off the ground laid along your bike.
And there's that fantastic whip kind of Shaolin to McMet afterwards.
Yeah, I mean, no one else I've seen do that. That's the first time I've done it. I don't know, I really wouldn't like to call this one. And then he does another, there it is. That is my favorite trick from Danny Torres, the Twitch whip. It's supposed to be Twitch's, Jeremy Stenberg's signature trick, but the way he does it, I think they should start calling it the Torres whip, man. That was a massive trick from him. So
he actually managed to get his head far enough round to almost 270 degrees back at the judges. Now the results are coming in. Cam, talk us through them.
This is tough. If it was conventional scoring, I would say maybe to Torres, but right now it's so tough because we have each judge looking for individual pieces of the scoring, and you'll see what it comes up. Trick and track to Torres. I expected that. I think the amplitude, the overall, the show, there we go, execution of Levi Sherwood. I think the crowd was behind Levi as well, which might make a difference. The style to Sherwood. Wow, this is very tight, as I said, and the show going to Levi Sherwood. So for now, my crystal ball remains intact. Almost really a split decision. One more judge preferring Sherwood. Very tight, but Danny Torres, who has also won on the season, is now eliminated. There's a look at your judges. Rob, Ed, that was tough.
Well, Levi Sherwood continuing his dream run there. Tim is down in the pits, though, and he's having a word with Antoine Ribaud, Matt's dad.
Yeah, thanks, Ed. I'm here with Antoine. Can you tell us how's Matt getting on?
Yeah, Matt, I see that before. It's okay. I go with the hospital to the control, and I hope it's not dangerous. It's okay. Thank you very much. I see you next year.
Yeah, there we go. I'm sure Matt will be back next year. So thankfully he's okay. He's gone to hospital, and we look forward now to semi-final number 2.
Thank you very much, Tim. That is excellent news. It's really, really upsetting. I know that it visibly shook you, Rob, when it happened, that when one of these riders go down, you don't know how serious it can be. So Matt Ribaud is stable and recovering well. Now, the next semi-final, if the first semi was the battle of the young guns, this is the battle of the masters. Robbie Madison, he's the Lionheart from Australia. If he didn't have a motorbike, he'd be in an asylum. He's up against Nate the Destroyer Adams. He is a Terminator. Everyone is eaten up in his path. Rob, what do you make of this one?
This is the big one. I mean, whoever wins this is the 2009 X-Bars World Series champion. So this is a final in its own right. I don't know who I'm going to go for. I mean, my heart tells me Nate, but we know Maddo is going to go out there and charge. It's going to be absolutely awesome.
Well, we've got the Light Brigade out there on the track. Cam, take it away.
This one will be electrifying. Now remember, just in the quarterfinals, we saw Nate Adams not have a run of perfection. The difference between the two riders, Maddo, who will go first, he seemingly is willing to hang it out longer and bigger. Nate will be more technical, but have the hugest tricks in the sport.
Take a hot lap around the course, open up the bike. Now this one's going to be huge.
And here we go, Nate Adams getting it started with his 90 seconds. Getting off the motorcycle with the variation to the side. Sorry, Maddo and Nate wearing virtually identical gear, it looks like. So Robbie Madison getting it started. No-handed lander, I like it. Nate Adams envisioning himself taking to the course, but right now it's all Maddo for 90 seconds. Hailing from Australia, big kiss of death flip, but not looking through the bars. We've seen that tonight. Couple riders not looking through. We did see one, I believe, Matt Ribaud looking through, and Maddo with a good seat grab, good extension there. Now what Maddo needs to, stalls the motorcycle. So we saw him have to take a re-rack earlier in his first run in the quarterfinals. Now a stall on the bike. Shouldn't be a big deal with the judges as he takes to one of those transfer runs there. But still, it might rattle you just a little bit as you're getting set to do backflips. And Maddo not getting a good run in. You'll remember we talked about at the beginning of the show. This jump has a difficult run in out of the berm. Maddo had to re-rack it once in his quarterfinal. Now he has to go off the ramp and go back. So there he gets the transfer he was probably thinking about, a little bit short. Maddo is a little rattled. And we're seeing Maddo kind of come unwound on us right now. Robbie Madison, nice. Looking for the underflip there. Fiancée Amy and mechanic Buddy looking on, but not a great run for Robbie Madison. A little rough. I'm expecting Nate to see this and throw down a big run because he will have a little bit of an easier mark. Rob, Ed, this is a tough battle, but I think Nate, if he comes clean, it should be easy for him to take the title and move into the finals.
Well, Robbie having an absolute nightmare of a run there.
Yeah, he just lost his composure halfway there. I'm not quite sure, but they are struggling a little bit coming out of that turn, you know, but really the pressure is off Nate Adams now. He's only got to go out there and just deliver a fairly solid run, and the title is his. So, yeah, you know, Maddo, he came unwound in front of us.
Well, the one thing that always gets me, you watch Amy there, we saw a couple of pictures of his wife, and they know that if there's a problem with the bike and they keep trying to force it. If something goes wrong, it's going to be disastrous.
Yeah, and let's not forget, he is riding with a really bad shoulder injury. There's that stall. He managed to stall that motorcycle in that corner there. Didn't really cost him any time, I wouldn't have said, but it probably unsettled him. And
I'll
then
tell
we
you what,
saw...
Buddy's going to have a hard time watching that replay, his mechanic.
And look at that, Ed. With a bad shoulder, like 20 feet to a flat landing. If he armed me so hard, if he arm wrestled Chuck Norris, he'd probably win.
That is phenomenal. There are very few riders who'd actually go through with that.
Yeah, he carried on after that, and that's a shame for Maddo. I mean, that's not the way we wanted to see a series end. And like we said, you know, it's all down to Nate now. The ball is absolutely in that man's court.
Well, the series title, Nate Adams to lose. Cam, take us through his run.
Okay, handing things back down there on the dirt to Nate. He's pretty much just got to complete his run now. Yeah, I don't want to downplay Robbie here. Actually, the bike bomb started out, and then he ended up jumping the flat off of that lip. I'm going to keep the rubber side down and shiny side up here for the next 90 seconds. He's moving on to that last round against Levi Sherman, but he still has to put down a run here. So he's got 90 seconds on course.
Well, we're ready here to take him through and getting it started with the Knack 360. Boys, you're absolutely right that the time is his, the ball is in his court, but I think the lack of pressure could make Nate be absolutely perfect and get him to the game he's looking for to win the championship here by passing Maddo in the semi, but also to get him into the perfect zone for the final. Coming back around now, this will be the 80-foot dirt jump. Lazy boy backflip. Those beautiful towers overhead. Unbelievable run so far for Nate Adams, and you can see both riding the blue bikes, both riding the blue gear. You can tell, and I thought one was the other, but hey, right now Nate Adams is proving that he is the man to beat here tonight. Lots of variations, lots of big tricks. You'll see him do backflips where he leans back on the bike, backflips where he gets inset on the motorcycle. Use of course, different variations here. Letting go of the bike, complete. It's really an amazing set of tricks that he brings. There you go, letting go of the motorcycle completely, and then going to the transfer and flipping the bike, virtually flat landing. Nate has definitely found his game in this run. This will be a clean sweep as long as nothing happens here at the end. Going for the heel clicker 360. Again, the only rider bringing the 360 to this competition here tonight. And there, a bar trick backflip the stripper, and he claims it. He's digging it. Maddo coming out. So that's going to do it for Nate's run. Rob, Ed, I'm going to say it's lights out for Maddo.
Well, we're not going to argue with you there. Nate Adams, absolutely immaculate, stepping up that riding level, even though he knew he didn't have to from his quarter-final run.
Well, I think it's fair to say the pressure was off, and that was just a lap of honour for that World Series win there for Nate Adams. I mean, all the pressure was off, and didn't he do some fantastic trick? Look at the extension on that huge flatliner. He didn't really get the bike flat there. He's
perfect, isn't he? Everything is timed to perfection. You never see him meeting the bike early.
He never rushes. He didn't get great extension on that cliffhanger flip there, but they call him the Destroyer. I'm going to rename him the Mailman. He might not like it, but he always delivers. And there's that huge lazy boy flip from him, Ed. Helmet damn near on that rear mudguard for him.
That West Stander getting the best view of that. He's actually, they must be able to see the whites of his eyes as he comes over.
A seat grab flip from him there as well. Everything Nate does is just so technically perfect.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are watching the replays of what we believe will be the series winner of the 2009 X Fighters Tour. It's going to be down to Cam to find out, but look at that, there's one of them.
Well, that transfer is absolutely massive. It's so hard to do it. Levi Sherwood's not doing it. He's going to meet him in the final. And there's that stripper flip, Ed. I mean, look how long he leaves that bike upside down.
He almost got his heel caught on the mudguard as well.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's on form. There was no pressure on him there. There's pressure on him in the next round, though.
Well, it's almost a formality, but this result will crown Nate Adams the 2009 X Fighters Series champion. Cam, can you confirm it?
Ed, I'm here to confirm it before we even get the scores. I think it's going to be a clean sweep for Nate. Some problems there for Maddo in his run. So Nate Adams going absolutely mad on his run, so great. Here comes show 4. I think it's going to be a clean sweep of 5. A great run by Nate Adams. He'll meet Levi Sherwood in the final. Let me be the first to congratulate Nate as the 2009 X-Fighters champion. Rob, Ed, it's going to be a heck of a showdown. Can the young gun, Levi Sherwood, take down the king, seemingly, in Nate Adams?
This is it. We have got our finals matchup. Levi Sherwood, the wonder from down under, up against Nate the Destroyer Adams. Do not relinquish control of your remote. Join us after the break exclusively here on Dave. This is what we've all been waiting for. Welcome back to Battersea Power Station. We're perched on the banks of the Thames, and the finals of the X-Fighters 2009 series are about to happen. Now, both of the riders represent something very, very different in freestyle motocross. Our first rider, Levi Sherwood, he arrived on he announced his arrival on the freestyle motocross scene in Mexico at the start of the year. Rob, talk us through what he's been doing tonight. It's been madness.
Well, his extensions, Ed. I mean, this kid, he came out of round 1, like you said. He just does these tricks with such huge extension. It's ridiculous. I mean,
put it in perspective. No one can do the tricks like this, can they?
No one ever has. I'm not sure anyone will ever again. I mean, the extension is ridiculous. The way he bends his body around himself. I mean, I've never seen anything like it. The kid's on fire tonight as well. He's gotten through those early rounds. He's got his confidence behind him, and he hasn't really got anything to lose in this final. He can go out there all out.
But he's facing Nate Adams, technically the best freestyle motocross rider on the planet right now. He has got every single trick at his disposal.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Nate Adams has got a bigger repertoire of tricks. He is more precise. He has more technicality to his tricks. It's going to be tight.
Well, Cam is ready down in the commentary box to take us through this final.
You're talking about the finals here at the X-Fighters London. 2 riders coming from 2 different parts of the world and 2 different styles of attitude. Levi Sherwood coming from New Zealand, a first-year professional freestyle motocross rider, winning on the series in Mexico City, his first ever event that he rode with the X-Fighters. Then you have the wily veteran, although only 25 years of age, he's virtually won everything the sport of freestyle motocross has to offer, and he's consistently the favorite. They call him the Destroyer because he comes in and destroys everybody's emotions and feelings by putting down the biggest and best runs. We'll see the 360 from him, but because Levi Sherwood comes in the lower rated rider in qualifying, he will take to the course first. So Nate Adams, who will be our champion, will get the second shot at the course. And here you have it, Levi Sherwood taking to the finals. He will be the first rider. Remember, we've extended the time from 90 seconds to 2 minutes. You never want to repeat a trick. That means you have to reach into the extended bag of tricks, which we know Nate Adams has. Levi Sherwood proved that he had it in Mexico City when he won there at the first event of the series. Oh, big kiss of death flip for Levi. Nice, getting the seat grab. Not all the extension possibly that we've seen in the past from him, but we know that jump going in there is difficult for riders to get into. The crowd absolutely loving it. We're loving it. Levi getting through the handlebars, proving that he can do tricks in front and in back of the motorcycle while inverted. So far, good right side up tricks as well. And oh, the extension. We've talked about it a number of times. I'm sure we'll look at that post the run, but the rubber band man is here, virtually made out of rubber. And Levi doing the folks proud in New Zealand. And there the double grab. So Levi riding the big 4-stroke motorcycle. It's still only 250 cc's. So not quite as much grunt as the 2-stroke machines. You see a little bit of focus, closes the eyes quickly as he comes into the kiss of death backflip. Not looking through, but a great run. Now, normally this is where the run would end, but they've tacked on an extra 30 seconds. for the final, and we'll see what Levi comes up with. A little bit of foot off there on the landing, but able to put it together for the second jump. And you get a shot at the massive crowd here. London has come out in force to support the X-Fighters. New Zealand's own Levi Sherwood on course right now and looking great here. The Battersea Power Station, time is running out, less than 15 seconds remain. A little bit of a foot off again, and there you have it. Red flags waving. That is the finals run for Levi Sherwood. And before Nate gets going, let's head back up to Ed and Rob.
Well, a fantastic run there from Levi Sherwood. He's put the pressure on Adams to lay down an immaculate run. I mean, he threw out everything he had there and rode from the heart.
He did it. I mean, it was an almost perfect run from Levi Sherwood. The only criticism, and it's a very small one, is I don't think he has the depth of tricks that Nate had. And he did repeat himself a little bit as he comes up to that ramp there. Oh, look at that, the huge holy grab. Let's completely go the bike and gets back on it.
This one, I love this one.
The massive Indian Air Kiss of Death. Although, Ed, he didn't look through the handlebars on that one either, but they are very small criticisms.
He's got a huge range. It's Nate Adams' turn now. It's so difficult for these riders to watch all of this going on in front of them and hold their game. Nate Adams has got to try not to be distracted when he's looking at jumps like this.
No, but Nate Adams has won everything there is. Look at the extension on that there. The foot almost coming around to touch that front mud guard. Nate Adams has been through so many of these finals. He's won so many of these competitions. He's got experience on his side, and he's got a huge bag of tricks. I think it might go his way.
It's a big call from Rob.
I'm a big Nate fan.
I'm staying on the fence. Cameron, I believe that you've got Nate Adams ready to go.
We definitely do, and look at this massive crowd assembled alongside the river underneath the Battersea Power Station, and Nate Adams is locked and loaded, ready to take to the course.
That's pretty much the only fault in that run. I didn't see anything else that could really put him up on.
No, and I mean, I don't think his foot actually touched the dirt. It just slipped off the peg ever so slightly. And then right here to cap it off, Yami. And that was the final round run for Levi Sherwood. So give him a big round of applause for the effort one more time. It all comes down to this last ride here. Levi looking to take his second win of the tour, but as you said, Andy, this gentleman right now...
And he's decided it's time to rock and roll. We just talked about Nate Adams. Rob and Ed mentioned that this is his time. He needs to be perfect. He needs to be good. In his first quarterfinal run, he was not perfect. And getting it started, uncorking the 360, something we didn't see from Levi Sherwood. You guys mentioned the bag of tricks, the depth. Now we're into the 2-minute runs. This is where Nate Adams will shine. As long as he doesn't have a shocker, no crash, no mistakes, Nate Adams should be able to stop it, put it together. But hey, Levi Sherwood at 17 years of age, you're looking at him right there. He put down a great run. Incredible extension, huge tricks. Nate, I think, is just a little deeper. And as we said before, oh, right there, a little short. Rob mentioned it, Ed mentioned it, I'm mentioning it again. He's been a little short on that trick every time tonight. He's got to be good all the way around to make this work for him. So just a little bit of chink in the armor so far with 1 minute 10 seconds remaining. And the big Cordova flip underneath those massive smokestacks. And Levi doesn't really look nervous. I think he's just waiting to see what happens in a big no-handed lander. Degree of difficulty there, of course, huge. If the bars swap or turn, there's a crash that will happen. Letting go of the motorcycle completely is Adams. And a knack on the transfer. Wow, lots of risk. That motorcycle drifts just enough. He could high side upon the landing, but so far, absolutely nails. And the cliffhanger and a no-handed lander. Your X-Fighters champion, showing you why, and here is the extended time. We talked about the runs have been 90 seconds, now they are 2 minutes. Watch Nate shine as he brings big tricks to that final 30 seconds. So hard to do a new trick every single time in 2 minutes, and there, the heel clicker 360. inside of 10 seconds. He's got time to get through this ramp-to-ramp section. This could be his last jump, and the big can-can. So I talked about him having extra tricks there, going to what is really looked at as the original trick of freestyle motocross.
Nate Adams dredging the bottom of his bag of tricks there. He threw everything in the kitchen sink into that run.
He absolutely did. I mean, that extra 30 seconds, here's the first replay, and he came out banging with that 360 knackhead.
The hardest trick that we've seen at X Fighters tonight.
Yeah, and there he goes again with that lazy boy flip, laying right back on that bike. And here's the cliffhanger. The feet aren't really up there under the bars, and he didn't get full extension of his body, so the judges will mark him down on that. And here you go, a Cordova flip with a look through. No one really does that as well as Igo Sato, but that was on a par with that man. And the big double grab there, right side up, so to a no-hander landing. So Nate Adams digging deep here in his bag of tricks, like you said.
Take a rest, you're getting hoarse. Rob always gets this excited. A phenomenal run from Adams, but this is no foregone conclusion, Rob.
No, it certainly isn't. You know, what Levi Sherwood might lack in the actual, in his amount of tricks, he certainly makes up for in his extensions.
Well, the judges are about to make their decision in the finals here in London. Cam, it's yours.
Well, boys, you're absolutely right. The judges have to decide now, and this is a very tough call. There's a couple reasons I'm going to explain really quick. Nate Adams, overall, the better performance. I believe in my crystal ball he will win, but there is a possibility that style, execution, and show could possibly go to Sherwood, but I'm expecting more of a clean sweep to Nate Adams, and there you have it. Execution. See, now, this is where you get individual judges. It can get tricky. It is not a foregone conclusion. Style goes to Nate Adams. Nate needs one more. Levi needs another one to keep himself alive here. Nate, your champion of the X Fighters already. Will he win tonight? And he does. The show goes to Nate Adams. So one of the scores going to Levi Sherwood. Nate Adams, your champion on the event. And of course, your champion for the X Fighters. Unbelievable performance here in London.
Well, there is no doubt about it. Nate Adams is the undisputed best freestyle motocross rider in the world right now.
Absolutely, Ed. I mean, that's his second win of this X5 series. You know, he won the series in that semi-final, and there he comes in with tricks like this. It's no wonder. Look at that lazy boy backflip, the head, the helmet on the mudguard, and look, the extension on that cliffhanger right side up, and he's still, even under all that pressure, doesn't put his hand back on the bar for the landing.
He is so off-center. A fantastic ride from Nate Adams. Now, he is a deserving champion, and we're going to have an interview with him exclusively on Dave right after the break. Welcome back. I am here with the new X Fighters Series champion and the London champion. Nate, this is your champagne moment.
I couldn't even open my eyes. I think it was Levi got me straight in the face with the bubbly, but I mean, I don't even know what to think. I was just telling my mechanic, I don't really know if I deserve to win. I messed up every one of my runs tonight. I at least had a little mistake, and I hate that. It just bugs me, but I didn't see anyone else's run. I was just concentrating on myself, and I think I cracked under the pressure a little bit. I'd like to think I'm more mentally strong than that, but I don't know. I mean, I'm just glad I won. Maybe I got a little lucky tonight. Maybe I deserved it. I don't really know because I wasn't watching anyone else ride.
You were coming off a dreadful year last year, and it's taken you a while to hit your stride this year.
Yeah, I mean, last year was just, I mean, that was all I needed for, I mean, motivation to come back and win this year. I mean, it kind of hurt my feelings. There was just a lot of rumors around the industry. I was hearing that I was washed up and I was pretty much burnt out and out of the scene, and it made me mad. I know I'm better than, or I can ride better than everyone here, just given on the given day, any given day, and I knew if I put in the work and got motivated again that I would come back and win, so this is great.
Well, a lot of riders, you talked about the pressure and the fact that you weren't happy with any of your runs. I think the pressure was actually seeping into everyone tonight.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of unfortunate Matto messed up his run. I think the pressure got to him. Matt Rabeau flipped that jump and backsided A lot of people at home might not know why that happened. They pulled his bike in. He had a nail through his rear tire, so his rear tire was completely flat, which means when the bead lock comes undone, the rim will just spin on the tire. When he went off the ramp, the pressure blew, and that's why he backsided. And that's unfortunate for Matt. You know, I wanted to battle with those guys to the end. You know, it's unfortunate that, you know, tonight was a mix-up of, you know, kind of mistakes, crashes, and everyone cracking under the pressure.
Nate, you are the 2009 X-Fighters champion and the London champion. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Nate Adams series highlights.
Nate, the destroyer!
The 360, absolutely fantastic.
Nate, perfect.
Adams, probably the best in the world at this trick.
Nate is, he's the destroyer.
That was a nice trick. The judges give it to the destroyer.
It's the start of your assault on the X-Fighters title.
Let's not jinx it, though, hopefully.
Nate has already wandered off to soak up the glory of that win. Rob, an incredible night.
Yeah, we had drama all the way, you know, Rabo going out in the early rounds, but you've got to say, and even Nate said, they all struggled a little bit under the pressure tonight, but didn't we see some absolutely amazing FMX?
Well, I can't say that I am not drained from the exertion of watching that. It was a dramatic ride, but we have Nate Adams as our series and London title holder. So I'm absolutely speechless. I mean, he did deserve this. As he said then, he's brought himself back from the edge and he's built and built and built on every run.
Well, that's right. On the back of a year with no injuries, look at what he's doing. You know, he's won a round already this year. He's podiumed several times, and yeah, he lives up to what we said. He is the world's greatest freestyle motocross rider right now.
Well, it's good night from us here in London, and it's goodbye from the X-Fighters 2009 series.
Takes it.
Who is he? Where's he come from?
And he's got it. He gets style. Robbie Madison is going to take the win. The first ever double backflip in freestyle motocross competition.
This one's too tight to call. Mystic Meg couldn't predict this one, Ed.
Torres gets it in the end.